Hi, I'm Ricki Pryor, editor of the Richmond Register, and you're watching the Pryority Report.
The Pryority Report is brought to you by Cumberland Valley National Bank. Trusted for banking, known for caring. Visit them at cvnb.com. Chenault Vineyards, a place to create beautiful experiences. Visit them online at chenaultvineyards.com. Shelter Insurance, Ashley Kovaleski. Give her a call, 859-624-0883, located 112 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky, and kymedia.net.
Tonight on the Pryority Report, we talked to Kelly Kraft, who was in Richmond today and speaking with the Richmond Police Department and members of HIDA about the drug crisis in Madison County. What brings you here to Madison County today?
You know, I want to learn as much as I can on what is affecting communities. And what I'm hearing is consistent. Drugs. And what we need to do is have a full court press. And that's by engaging everyone in a community, from the school teachers, our doctors, our nurses, our ministers, rabbis, our media, our coaches, everyone that can help identify and mentor a young child. Because I think it's starting very young. And we need to make certain that we support our law enforcement and we encourage our young adults to be able to engage with law enforcement.
And how important was it to meet with, I know that you met with Rodney and William, and how important was it to talk face to face and have a sit down meeting with individuals that are doing the work?
Well, to be able to hear Rodney's issues, BJ's issues, Joe's, Ty's, everybody in the room is really important, because the more I can do my homework, the better governor I will be to be able to represent the state.
And do you mind telling us a little bit about the conversation? What did you guys discuss? What you kind of are going to take away from it? What
I took away today is these are men that are really making a difference in mentoring young adults in the community, and also making certain that we stop this drug epidemic. And we have to support them. We owe it to our law enforcement to be very supportive, to make certain that they have the tools, the training, whatever funding is needed to be able to equip them. And this is what I plan on doing as governor of Kentucky.
Excellent. And this is a major part of your platform. Can you talk to me a little bit more about why this is so important to you and what it means to you and why you've made it such a cornerstone?
Well, I've been crisscrossing the state of Kentucky and sitting at people's tables, whether it's in homes, whether it's in the local stores, wherever I may be. And I hear crime, drugs, over and over, and I see pain. And you know, this is not just an epidemic in Kentucky, it's all over the United States. So I think if we can actually get to the root of the problem, if we can actually get to the families, put the faith back in the families, the respect for our law enforcement, the respect for parents, the respect for our teachers, then we can make a dent in this. But it's going to take everyone to be engaged. And so I feel a real obligation. You know, I know it, I've lived it, and I'm going to fight it for every single family in Kentucky.
Tell me a little bit about, what is being done about this situation? What are you guys doing, and why it's, kind of the challenges of that?
Well, at Richmond Police Department, we kind of take that. When I look at numbers from 2019, 2020, 21, and 22, I see overdose fatalities have risen. Mm-hmm. So, since 2019, we've taken a pretty big stance against those who supply that controlled substance to people that causes death. And since then, we've treated every overdose fatality like a homicide. We send a detective to every scene, and we will arrest and charge those individuals responsible for supplying that narcotic to those individuals. And I'm pretty proud of us beginning that here at the department. And that really stemmed from a group of mothers who approached me and said, "Hey, we have lost a child. What are you all doing to combat this?" And it really got me thinking, what can we do? And, manslaughter second may not be the charge that all parents want when they've lost a child, but it is something right now statutorily that we can use to prosecute and to arrest these people responsible, and that's the stance we've taken.
And there are a lot of resources in Madison County to the police department, and you're working with like HIDA and all the other agencies on this. Can you talk to me a little bit about that cooperation and how it takes everybody?
Sure, yeah. Currently, we're partners with the HIDA Drug Task Force, which, as everyone knows, they target the mid to high level drug traffickers. In addition to that, we've also partnered with the DEA, and we now have a narcotics detective in that division too. So we're using those resources that you just mentioned to increase our support, because they can bring in different things to our agency that we may not currently have. So we utilize that as a tool to help us to combat this drug issue.
And something else, Ricki, that I failed to mention I think is also important too. We have a local government here, and we have a city manager, and we have a community that supports us very well. And there's plans already. We got 3 more officers added to our ranks this year, and we've already got plans to add 3 more positions, and then 3 more until we can increase our numbers enough to combat what we need. So we're very blessed to have that support.
And it's my understanding that the RPD, and it's not just arresting and charges. You guys do other things as a department to combat drug, substance use and overdose and stuff. Could you kind of tell me a little bit about the other programs besides just the policing and the arrests?
I'll mention one, and I'm sure that Assistant Chief O'Donnell has some that he might want to mention too, but we kind of joined and formed a pretty big partnership with the Madison County Health Department a few years ago to combat some things that derive from drug abuse, hepatitis, HIV, needle sharing and stuff like that. So we just kind of worked with them, and we created a little event that we called Candy Cane with the Cop, where around Christmas time we'll take Santa Claus and we'll take the health department with us, and we take candy, and we go to different neighborhoods and different houses. We knock on the doors, and the officers get to spend time with the kids while the health department can talk to the parents and address any concerns that they have. So we just kind of joined together in a partnership, and it started out really, me and the health department director were just sitting at a table having lunch, and we just came up with this idea about how we can, what can we do to get out in the community to help people, to offer that service. And I think Ms. Kraft talked about it earlier, what services are out there that maybe people don't know we can offer, or what services do we need that we don't have. So sometimes you just got to get out there and educate people. Education, I think, is very important because it tells people, what's out there, what to stay away from, and what can happen if you get addicted to this. So, and there's other programs too that we...
Sure. There's, Richmond Police Department currently participates and are partners in our drug court, both for circuit and district court. And that was basically a pilot program that started here in Madison County back years ago. And we're happy to be in that partnership and get to meet and interact with those individuals and get to learn about what drives some of their addiction issues and so on, and be able to personally know those people and assist them. Another one that I'll mention real briefly is, Richmond Police Department does a summer camp program here. It's important that we educate our kids, and we use that, and it's been a very successful program for us for over 10 years to build that relationship with kids and teach them from an early age, what they should and should not be involved in. So, and as the chief mentioned, as our manpower grows, we've been fortunate to have that. We'll see those programs increase.
And I know that you probably discussed this with Kelly, but I mean, what are some of the resources that you've identified that you need currently to help with this?
Well, some of the programs that there was a lot of addicts out there that were sharing needles. Mm-hmm. We thought it was important that the syringe exchange, that we support that in a way that encourages people to use that program, because we had, it kind of attacks on several different areas. If your kid's playing on a playground and there's an uncapped syringe and a needle, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. If our car breaks down and we're changing a flat and we have to move a needle out of the way on the side of the road, that's a problem. if there's an outbreak of AIDS, HIV, hepatitis in certain areas of the neighborhood, that's a problem. So that is one way that something that we supported to try to combat this. And just last year, we actually gave to all of our officers to carry Narcan. We just thought that it was important because we're blessed to live in Madison County because our response times are so quick. We have a lot of ambulance and EMS services that are here and they get there really quickly. But what if a minute meant life and death? We gave our officers the tools they need to hopefully revive and save that person's life until medical attention can get there. And they have Narcan. They were trained to use Narcan. It's supplied to us for free. And that, I think, has made an impact. We use it quite a bit. We use it more than I actually initially thought we were going to use it.
Wow.
So, and those are programs too, you know. People think, and I don't want people to think that the Richmond Police Department comes up with all these great ideas by themselves and we sit in this room and come up with this. This is the police department working with the community, hearing concerns, and sitting down with people and saying, hey, what can we do? And we get ideas from them. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It's us working as a team with our community. And that's where this comes from. Right. It's community teamwork.
I think that's what today is mostly about. It's just learning from each other and sharing what your successes are and your needs are. Excellent. Anything else?
You know, I can tell you I've just returned back from the border in Yuma, Arizona, and you see the issue, you see the problems. You know the fentanyl that is being brought over our border, and you also see the young adults, the boys and the girls, that are being trafficked because they are carrying it over and then they have to pay off their debt. So not only do we have a drug crisis, but we also have we've talked about this, human trafficking. And so we have to educate everyone in the state of Kentucky. And we have to help our law enforcement and be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Thanks for watching the Pryority Report. See you next week.
The Pryority Report is brought to you by Cumberland Valley National Bank. Trusted for banking, known for caring. Visit them at cvnb.com. Chenault Vineyards, a place to create beautiful experiences. Visit them online at chenaultvineyards.com. Shelter Insurance, Ashley Kovaleski. Give her a call, 859-624-0883, located 112 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. And kymedia.net. Download the Richmond Register News app on your favorite device or sign up and subscribe online at richmondregister.com.